interesting. I was looking over notes from the series that Bill Moyers did on the healing and the mind. Anybody see that? The issues that were being raised there. At one point, he talked about the relationship between mind and body, and said that they have been separated in European thought. Now, he didn't say European, you see. I don't think he did, but often what they will say is modern. You know, there'll be some other term in there. And he said that the very language that comes out of that prevents us from conceptualizing in a connected way. I'll repeat that. That the language that has been developed based on this way of thinking, the language itself gets in the way of us seeing connections, like the connection between mind and body. We have to say mind and body, so you begin thinking like that, that there's a part of you that's mind and a part of you that's body. Just like Plato will talk about a part of you that's reason and a part of you that's emotion, and you really think there are these little compartments. You see what I'm saying? Because that's in the language. Okay, now here's Moyers saying this, meaning that they've got a problem. Our problem is that their problem has become our problem because it's been imposed on us. And that is what is going on in this discussion. We're trying to wean ourselves away from their problem. But in order to do that, we've got to first recognize it as a problem. Recognize it as one way of seeing and explaining reality. Aikwe Armad does that beautifully in 2000 Seasons. That is a theme of his throughout the book, connectedness, and then what happens when you are disconnected. He always talks about that, so go back and reread 2000 Seasons. We're going to be talking about the symbol and the object. A good chart that you should look at is the one on knowledge, which is F. Okay, this is about ways of knowing, and it's about the symbolic as opposed to what comes about through objectification. So use this as you're reading the chapter. That's one thing that you will want to use. The symbol is able to take us to different levels of reality. The object stops at the simplest level of knowing. Look again at the chart. You'll see that according to the Dogon, you move from Jeriso to Beniso. Sight with perspective is what I'm calling it. They call it word from the side. Boloso, insight, because word from behind, seeing through, and then vision, so dai. These are levels. And moving through them, that prepares you to then understand deep knowledge. So it's a process. And the symbol is what allows you to do that. The symbolic modality allows you to do that because it takes you. You see, it relates the inner to the outer and takes you on this journey. Whereas the European conception is very simplistic. All you know is the object, which keeps you at that outer, at that first level, what we would call Jerry-so. And that's what this is about. Now, what that does, however, is to give a feeling of control. Because all you are at is that level of where you're dealing with the object. And the object is flat. The object has no dimension. Okay, or as a friend of mine would say, no texture. And it has no meaning. In the African conception, if you look at the chart, you're moving towards meaning. In the European conception, they talk about objective knowledge. You don't want to deal with meaning. That's what it means to be objective. It has nothing to do with meaning. And that's what they tell you is the highest truth. You see? So your question has to be, why? How does that fulfill the asili? I'm going to keep asking you that, and you're going to keep asking yourself that, and then you're going to be able to answer that, and then you'll understand what's going on here. Okay? What we've done is to start with the African worldview. Remember, always start with the African worldview, where we have a spiritual universe, where we're dealing with the symbolic, and then let's see what happens.